Hey guys, ILene Vick here for Teaching Adult Coloring with ILene Vick. It is Wednesday, June 4th at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, and I am live. It is week 23 of 2025, and in my neck of the woods it is currently 80 degrees with a high of 84 and a low of 63. Welcome to my broadcast. I am here for the next 3 hours for coloring, companionship, chat, friendship, giggles and laughs, pretty pictures, and the what, the how, and the why of adult coloring. In other words, I show you what I'm doing, I explain how I'm doing it, and then I talk about the why of it. Welcome to my YouTube peeps who come in and chat with me. That is always delightful. Welcome to my YouTube peeps who watch this broadcast after the fact. And welcome to my Facebook peeps who see this broadcast when I download it into my group, Teaching Adult Coloring with ILene Vick. Alright, so tonight we are continuing to work on our Red-Haired Beauty. This is out of Riot of Red Jubilee. Here's what the book cover looks like if anybody's interested in it. It's a pretty nifty book. I really enjoyed putting this puppy together. Here are some of the images that are in the book. Really cute images. All right. Then the next project that I'm going to be working on is from Romantic Country. This book was given to us by Angie. She wanted me to do an image out of it. She wanted to get some ideas for herself. So this is what we've been working on. Cute little piece. Our geese are running up and down the steps. And I've been showing you how to do different styles on the sides of the buildings that I've made different colors. You've seen this in pictures. Alrighty. Let me get my paper towel out. Get my swatch sheet out. And we will be good to go in a little bit. Alright, so how's everybody doing today? Win, lose, or draw? I'm going to say draw. It's been a quiet day. Let's see who's in here today. Maggie, Janie, Tam Tam. Hi, Karen. Hey, Angie. Looks like everybody's pretty much having a quiet day. Janie draw, Maggie draw. Angie says, hey, hey, draw. All right. So anybody have any questions before I start up again? Tam went to the podiatrist today. He gave me exercises to do and an anti-inflammatory pill to take. Excellent. If you care to, remind everybody what's going on with you. Okay, I'm just getting my pencils together here. Now, last night we were working on getting our dark areas in between the hair. And let me get my paper towel. Now, I'm going to go through here and I'm going to take my black and you've seen me do this a lot. It's a good habit to be in because it makes everything look dimensional. Now, right now, in between our hair, we have our Payne's Gray. Now we need to come in with our black, and that's going to be mostly towards the outside. And what we're going to do is we're going to add that black as a means to make our divots, our color divots, more dimensional. Hey, Jonah. Now, I want to emphasize to you that we are not coloring over and eliminating the Payne's gray that we already put in here. What we are doing is we are adding a dimension to it. And you'll notice that as soon as I start doing this, how vibrant that's going to make this hair. So not only are we adding that dimension, but it's going to cause our red to come out a little more. Now I'm going down the right hand side. And when you add this black, don't get stupid with it. In other words, don't overdo it, and don't add it in such a way that it becomes streaky. Hold on, gotta put something up here. I want you guys to develop a touch with your pencils. I mean, I'm barely touching the paper with this. Develop a touch with this, with your pencils, that you can add the subtleties of what I'm doing. All right. Then we're going to add just a little bit of our black in here. And again, barely touching the paper. Isn't that gorgeous? Okay, so let's continue. Well, hello, June. And now you can see how that hair is really beginning to pop. Let me see if I can get rid of that shine. Kathy, you're all, oh really? You're all caught up on this? Wow. You go, girl. Kathy, I don't know when you came into the room, but what I'm doing now is I'm taking black and I'm shading around my areas where I put my Payne's gray. And I'm barely touching the paper with my black. Oh, you absolutely may say so yourself. Kathy, send me a picture of it on Messenger. Kathy, I'm so glad that you're having a good time with it. Now, what this does is by adding this black on top of the Payne's gray, again not fully covering it, is it really starts to make this orange now stand out. Now, what you have to be careful with is when you're putting your black in, that you don't put in so much that the whole thing ends up looking mushy. There's going to be a limit to how much more we should be adding. All right. All right, let me see here if I can get in communication with you. All right, Kathy, what you go into our group, the group Teaching Adult Coloring with ILene Vick. Find something that's got my name on it. Click on my name and say, you'll get the boxes that tell you what you want to do. Just say send message. And once I get that notification, I'll go ahead and accept it, and that way we can communicate. It should say pending messages to me. All right, let me pull out. Okay, I got it, Kathy. All right, here is Kathy's image. Now, Kathy, what you need to do is take your orange and very lightly go over your lighter lines here, your yellow. And that'll start to blend that in. Looking good. And I'm glad you're happy with it. Okay, what are you saying about on the face and the hands? Oh, I know you've just been doing flowers and that this is huge for you. Yeah, what you want to do is you want to take your light orange and you want to very lightly go over that yellow. And that'll blend the hair in. Now, you don't need to do it right now because we're doing something different. This is the next step. Is on the area with the hair where my Payne's Gray is. I'm taking my black and what I'm basically doing is shading my Payne's Gray. I'm in the lower left-hand corner. And I'm just edging around my hair so that we get that dimension out of it. All right. Let me pull out and show you the full effect. There you go. Again, guys, not hard. You saw how nice Kathy's piece looked. And she's really jumping into this grayscale because she said prior to this she's done nothing but flowers. Okay, now, when you do a piece like this, you're always going to be tweaking it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my orange, which is my medium color, and I'm just going to tweak in a little bit of that highlighting. Now, just because I'm doing it on mine does not necessarily mean you need to do it on yours. It depends how you colored in your pencil. When you're watching me do these colorings, I don't want it to be straight monkey see, monkey do. Use your artistic intuition, and you can tell where your brightness and your dark colors should be. Hi, Julie. Honestly, I think we're in pretty good shape with this. Now, you need to be careful because your coloring is going to get to a point where you really can't add any more pencil to it. Otherwise, you're going to get what's called wax bloom. And what that means is you've got so much pencil wax on your page that it starts looking shiny. And what I'm going to do is I think I'm to the point where I can leave my hair alone. I might just tweak it a little bit in spaces, but that'll be it. Okay. Now, before I move on to the rest of her blouse and our ocean, I want to add some freckles to this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with a dark brown. Okay, Kathy. And I'm very lightly and very sparingly going to put on these freckles. And I'm making the teeniest, tiniest of dots on here. Barely touching the paper. And then I'm going to make sure that that's dried. And I'm going to come back with my, remember we did light, medium, dark on the skin, obviously. And I'm going to come in with my light color. And go over the top of those freckles. All right, a little bit of a finger blend here. And then we're going to do the same thing on this side. Now, don't use too dark of a brown. And you want to make these freckles look very soft. Basically what you want to do is you want to blur them into the skin. And now I'm blending over the top of these freckles with my darkest skin tone. And then, continuing with my darkest skin tone, I'm just going to slightly shade and darken my lightest color that I put in on the face. In other words, what I'm doing is I'm balancing this out. Any questions? And then, still using my darker skin tone, I'm going to balance this on the top where the brow is. Blending, blending, blending. Rawhide. And then I'm going to take a little bit of orange and I'm just going to tint that in a little bit to the eyebrow. You're barely going to see it, but it's there. Okay, second eyebrow. And I'm just adjusting the tint on my face. Again, you may not need to do this, but I do, just because of the way I laid down my colors. Absolutely beautiful. And I promise you that as you're making these adjustments, so right now I've got my darkest skin tone here. And I'm adjusting inside of the eyes. Okay. Questions? All right. Now we need to do her nightgown or blouse, which is trailing out behind her. But I don't want to do anything with that until I do the rest of the water first, and you'll see why. Let me get my paper towel. Now, I have a little bit of a dot on my page. I may have just dropped a little moisture on there. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. Hello, Grace. And sometimes that happens that you get something on your paper, so I'm just going to take my gray and we'll make that disappear. So if you ever have that happen on grayscale, that you get something on it, just fix it. Okay. Grace, let me show you where we are on this. How appropriate that we have sea sounds in the background, the water. Okay, I'm going to go and lean towards turquoise on this. Thank you, Grace. So we're going to go with a light, medium, and dark turquoise. And a little bit of, let's see, standard blue. So let me play around with some colors here. Let's see. Okay, let me show you the colors I've come up with. I'll zoom into this. here's the dark blue I'm going to use. Now, when I say dark blue, that means the darkest is in comparison to my other colors. Here's my medium. There's my light. All right, let's start up in this upper left-hand corner. How many of you are coloring with me tonight, or are you going to wait until later? Janie, Julie? Jonah? I don't know if Kathy's back or not. Okay, one additional color that I'm going to grab is my ivory. And what I'm going to do is part of these waves are going to have a little bit of ivory in it. And what that's going to do is that's going to give our water a shimmery look. Now, I understand that it looks a little weird at the moment, but what do I always tell you? Respect the process. And what this is going to do, it's going to give the water a shimmery, kind of a misty look. And the reason that I'm putting it in now is because I don't want to accidentally color over these highlighted areas with my blues. Let me pull out. See, you can clearly see that color. See how it's making that water look misty and foamy? Hello, Elizabeth. Elizabeth, you've been here before, haven't you? Okay. Check it out. Thanks, Kathy. You're new. Well, Elizabeth, welcome to the broadcast. So, Elizabeth, this piece that we're doing now is a freebie from one of my books. And what you need to do is join my Facebook group, and you can pick up this image plus 2 other ones. And what I do is I work through the coloring of one of those images, and that's what I teach around. Oh yeah, the freckles look great. And then, Elizabeth, later on, I'll be working on a different image, which is from Romantic Country. So Elizabeth, sit back and enjoy the coloring. And I'm glad you stopped by. Okay. Now, I've picked out my light, medium, and dark turquoise. So now I'm going to start coming in with that. Now, Elizabeth, couple things. Don't be shy about asking questions. That's why I'm live. All right, let's start in this darker area. And have you colored grayscale before? Now, what I always tell you, don't come in gangbusters with your pencils. Now, there's my dark. There's my medium. Oh, you found me on Facebook the other day. You look forward to learning, just watching today as you'll be in and out. Okay. Yeah, and do me a favor, Elizabeth, if you step out, just say BRB or let me know that you're leaving for the night or whatever the case may be. That way I'm not talking to myself. Okay. Back to my dark. A little bit more of our medium. And then that light. Oh, Elizabeth, let's see. Grayscale is your favorite, but you have a lot to learn. Okay. Elizabeth, learning never ends. Okay, there's my light. Elizabeth, do you have a printer? Okay. Let's move down just a little bit. And notice how I'm working that light in to blend it. All right, there's some light. There's some of my dark. Oh, Elizabeth, you do have a printer. Excellent. And then I'm going to pop up to my medium as I get higher on the page. Take your time. Now be sure that you get in between your hair strands so that we still have that good flyaway look. Oh, Kathy, of course you can say that's how much you love your new electric razor. Is it one of those things, Kathy, now that's going to be prime out of your cold, stiff hands? Okay, now this is my medium. And then as I get higher up, we get into our light color. And yes, it is a huge difference. Now, you guys know I'll be blending this, right? All right, back with my medium. let me pull out. Now I'm going to introduce a darker shade of blue. And that's this one right here. And the reason I'm introducing this now is when I go over to the right, on these waves, I have a little bit of an area here. Now, I'm not going to color below this line right here, but I have an area here that's a darker blue than the blues that I'm using. So there's my darkest blue. Hold on, gotta move camera. And then my darker blue that I had before. And look how cool that's looking already. And then a little bit of my lighter blue. And a medium blue right here on the right hand side. Elizabeth, is all this making sense to you? Okay, medium blue. And we'll pop in with some light blue. Now this is between, this is between my ivory, which I'm using to make our water look a little foamy. Now again, this is looking a little patchwork because why? We don't have all our colors on yet. Oh, Julie, good night. And because I haven't blended any of this yet. But the water effect, the background water effect sounds great. Elizabeth, I have like, I don't know, 12 or 13 brands of pencils. I choose by color and not by brand. Medium. I don't know why I'm having so much trouble staying on camera tonight. Okay. Dark. So, Elizabeth, that's why I swatch my pencils when I'm coloring. That way you guys can go into your own brands and pick out what you want to use. All right, light. Now, again, guys, this stuff is all unblended. The main thing is, Elizabeth, I don't want anybody to feel left out when I'm coloring. So that's why I swatch my different colors. Medium. Light. Oh, Elizabeth, welcome to the club. It's an addiction. I have bread funners. I have Starjoy. I have Amazon Basics. I have Color. Okay, I gotta switch projects in a minute. Let me pull out. That is already looking pretty cool. Again, unblended. Guys, what's the #1 skill to master in adult coloring? Blending. That's right, Jonah. And what's the definition of a proper blend? I'm actually asking you this for this. That's right, Maggie. She knew I was going to ask that. When one color seamlessly disappears into the next. By the way, guys, when you're coloring, I didn't mention this, but my regulars know this, is when you pick up your pencil to move around, when you pick it up, you slightly turn it, and that keeps your point. I love how this dark blue is already starting to make this look really cool. Okay, I gotta leave that alone or else I'll keep going with it. Guys, when you're coloring, I would rather see lousy color choices if I had to make a decision. Lousy color choices and top-notch blending instead of perfect color choices and lousy blending. Now, remember how I always teach you that when you have a color that comes up against the border of another color, that you take that first color and extend it over the edge a little bit. If you don't do that, it's going to look funny. See, I'd stopped my color inside that hair. It looked funny. Now I need to bring it out to the other side. Now, the way that you do a proper blend is that seam line between your two colors completely disappears. Let me show you that concept over here. See how that's smoothing out and disappearing? Okay, here's where we are so far. Blending, 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 rawhide. Just sing that little song to you. Any questions? Elizabeth, are we giving you good information? Are you learning something? Okay. I'm pretty happy with this. Next project. Romantic Country by Erie. All right. Kathy, you're going to work on yours tomorrow. Okay. I know a lot of you people like to do that. Is you'll watch my broadcast first and then you'll color on it the next day. Jonah, good night. No, Kathy is saying good night. Kathy says, I need to go to bed, early work day. Thank you, Irene. It's actually ILene, but that's okay. Soft kitty, warm kitty, little ball of fur. Happy Kathy, sleepy Kathy, purr, purr, purr. Okay. Now, the theme that I'm presenting in this piece here is that we have wall colors on buildings that are distressed. You want distressed and weathered. So, I started this out, this segment here with turquoise, and then I put orange on top of it. Now, when you're coloring a page, I always want you to look for a clever way to make the page speak to you. So, I'm not doing normal shading and shadowing on this. I'm actually adding the texture to the wall. And I also want you to notice that the way that I'm adding the texture brings an element of design into it as well. In other words, I'm not just throwing it on the edges here. For example, I'm bringing it down at an angle. Guys, when I see your pieces that you're coloring after you've been listening to my channel, these are the types of things I want to see. Be imaginative with your images. Now, I know that several of you guys have this book. Who's coloring this with me? All right. Whoop! You get to see my ceiling. You know, it's so funny. I don't touch anything on my camera. And it flips every once in a while. Hello, Mamie. Mamie, did you have fun at your family dinner tonight? Mamie was going to go to a car show. Mamie and Hubsters were going to go to a car show, but the weather turned back. Oh, Elizabeth, you think you have this book? Cool. And by the way, Elizabeth, I've added several things. For example, I put the cracks in the sidewalk on here. Okay, let's get this area in between here. Mamie, would you do me a favor? We have a new person that came in tonight, Elizabeth. And she's been watching the way that I'm coloring the red-haired lady. Could you please put up the link for the breaking news for the image of that woman and the two others? And that way she can download them and print them. All right, let me pull out. And meanwhile, Mamie, let me show you how far we've gotten. This is how far that we've gotten on our red-haired woman. I added freckles. I did some more detailing in the hair. I came in with black. In other words, we had our Payne's gray before. I came in with black. Highlighted a little more orange in here, the brighter orange. And then as you can see, I started the background on the water. So we've been busy. Okay. Let's get back to our other image here. Now I've got some terracotta pots here. So I'm going to be looking for a terracotta color on my pencils. Oh, Elizabeth, you're welcome. Elizabeth, that's what we do in this group. Mamie and Maggie are absolutely the best in putting our links in for things that we're doing. Oh, let me find a nice terracotta color. Oh, let's see what we got here. Yeah, Mamie is the lead on putting links in. And Maggie works our backup when Mamie isn't here. Okay. So I'm going to, when I find it, come in with a terracotta brown. I think I'll go with that one. This is a ginger yellow, color 041. I normally don't call out my pencils. Let's go ahead and start up with these pots up here. Mamie, how was your dinner? Well, Elizabeth, you're going to find out that I have a really terrific group. Now I'm going to come in with a little bit of brown. And again, we want to give this a weathered look. So we'll put in some streaks in here. And somebody's going to say, ILene, you are allowing streaks? Guys, what's the most important part of your page that you're coloring on? And let's darken these edges. And blend that in. The part you're working on, that's right. So what that means is, even if you're doing something as simple as these little terracotta pots, you should be adding the extras that make it look cool. And that means that even though it's just a pot, you're still going to add the little details that make it look cool. Because you know what? The details add up. I don't want you to blow this off and say, oh, it's just a pot, I'm just going to throw some brown on it. Don't do that. You know, I'm going to get my little picture framey thing out. See? That little area here is my whole concentration. All right, let's shade the side of this pot. Let's get our third pot done. Oh, and Elizabeth, do me a favor. I always ask the people, if they truly do like the broadcast, to hit that like button, because that prompts YouTube to include it in the feed of other people. And that way they know that we're here and can come in and enjoy their time with us just like you are. Come on, guys, we only got 12. Let's get that up to 20. If you guys are enjoying this broadcast as much as I think you are, I need you to like it so that we can get other people aware of it. Elizabeth, you may not know this, but I broadcast 365 days of the year. Including holidays. Oh, Janie, thank you. She says Desert Yellow 053 color is close to ginger if you don't have the ginger. Now, speaking of detail, let me go back to these little green leaves. I'm going to come in with a darker green marker. And I want you to notice how I'm adding our second color to this to make it dimensional. Now be sure when you're coloring on top of pencil that you clean your tip off every once in a while, because that wax gets up into your marker. It's not too bad if you use the broader tip of the marker, but if you use the fine point, that's where you can get into trouble. Okay, let's do the greenery on this other plant. All right, let's go down to our other pot now that has all these little green leaves. And notice how I am adding our second swish on our water-based marker. Check it out. Now notice that I'm not completely covering the previous color. This is just being added as a highlight. And what a difference that makes. Let me put it to you this way, guys. If you want people to look at your images and to care about your images, you need to put that care into your pieces. Otherwise, you're wasting people's time. Okay, Let's do this other grouping of greenery. Look at the difference adding that extra green color makes. In other words, it shows people that you cared enough about this to add this. Now I'm going to take my brown Let's go back to our plant over here. Let's make our potted soil brown. And then we'll take the brown I was using earlier and color our pot. And then we'll come in with our darker brown. Elizabeth, am I overwhelming you with information? All right, let's get this brown up here. Okay, now I'm going to come in with some orange. And I'm going to add that to the pot color. If you think about it, a terracotta pot has browns, oranges, yellows, check out how the oranges make the difference. Okay, I just want to make sure I'm not overwhelming you, Elizabeth. Let's go back up to our previous pot. I'm going to add my orange tinting to it. And there's our third pot. And then I'm going to come in with a purple flower here. Now, we can't do too much with these because there's really not too much room. So what I suggest is you just make one darker, the one at the top, for example, and then the other two lighter. Yeah, Janie, you can get red, terracotta. Good call. Okay, let's do these other pots here. I've got two on the right. Now, this image is a pretty busy image. We've got a lot of color going on, especially with the walls and the flowers and so forth. And we haven't even gotten to the clothing yet. So my suggestion to you is when you run into an image like this, and you have various repetitive objects, which we do, the terracotta pots, that you make them all the same color. Otherwise, they will get lost in the sauce. All right, let's come in with our orange. And let's get our last pot. Hi, Kathy. Okay, now I'm going to come in with my darker brown. I'm going to make this a multicolored pot. Grace, good night. Hope you enjoyed the broadcast. Grace, I'll be done broadcasting in about 15 minutes. All right, let me do this bottom part here. Take your time. Oh, Elizabeth, you get nervous about color palette on a busy page. Okay, yeah. Elizabeth, whenever there's a busy page involved, I make it a point to look at my similar objects. Now, you got to be careful that you don't get into a coloring rut doing that, though. Let me show you something, Grace. No, Elizabeth. But before I do that, I want to show Kathy the progress that we've made on our woman. Okay, Maggie, thank you. So, Kathy, this is where we are on here. And then, Elizabeth, this is a recent project that we did. And what I did is I did my similar objects, which were these leaves right here. And then I did my other greens over here that I knew were going to be approximately the same. So yeah, Elizabeth, don't let a busy page intimidate you. Guys, hit that like button. We're really behind on this. Yeah, Kathy, the flowers came out beautifully. All right. Now I've got this gold that I put in here, and now I'm going to come in with a little bit of green. Yeah, there. Oh, and Elizabeth, I'm glad you said that, because that was the whole idea behind that image, was to have it look fairy-like. It's out of my book, Where the Fairies Hide. Where the Fairies Hide Jubilee. Now, I just noticed some areas here that weren't quite colored to the edge. And then I'm going to come in with a purple. Water-based marker. Yeah, that fairy picture has an ethereal look to it, like a blurriness. It turned out really well. Okay, back with my darker brown. I'm going to make this pot look scuffed up a little bit. What do I need to do with this potted plant yet? Somebody tell me. Come on, guys. I did it on the other leaves. Mamie will give you the affiliate link to that book. Like I said, it's called Where the Fairies Hide, Jubilee. If I know Mamie, she was already looking up the link for you. It'll take you right to Amazon. Elizabeth, there's the link. Okay. Now, while I've got the green in my hand, I'm going to go ahead and darken this last set of leaves. Now, remember when I was adding a blue to all the rings on the potted plant so they're all the same? Yeah, Elizabeth, that's the type of thing that Mamie does for the group. Is that if she hears somebody express an interest in a book, she'll pop in that link. Okay, there's our gold. Oh, congratulations, Janie. Janie, did you use Ring-a-Ding to make your purchase? Was it an affiliate link? Okay, let me pull out. We are closing in on this project. Look how pretty that is. Any questions? And then our first project was our lady in the surf. I think she's coming along beautifully. Hold on. Page is curling up a little bit. And I'm now to the point where I can do the water at the top. So that's going to go down to about there. Then we'll get the rest of her blouse. And then we'll have the dark blue or darker blue down at the bottom. And I also worked on the hair to show you adding the black highlight so that we get our depth dimension detail on it. And you know me, you know I'm going to fuss with it. But you also need to know when to stop fussing. Oh, it was from Faber-Castell Company, 40 bucks for all 60. Cool. You go, girl. Okay, I'm ready to call it an evening. Guys, hit that like button. I will see you tomorrow night, same time, same place. Guys, joyous, joyous coloring. Love on each other. That's what our group is known for. I hope you had fun. I hope you learned something. And we'll see what kind of trouble we can get into. All right, guys. Love ya. Bye.